Trump wants our jobs.
We're going to take other countries' jobs.
And Mark Carney is just the man to help him. Trudeau and Carney sold out Canada with job-killing taxes that push jobs south. He opposed Canadian pipelines while profiting off U.S. coal. Carney even moved his company's headquarters to New York.
Everything is broken.
Everything is broken.
Fake news.
Fake news.
The left-wing censorship regime.
Their woke censorship ideology.
Defeating the radical left.
Radical, leftist, authoritarian.
We want those great Canadian truckers to know that we are with them all the way.
I'm proud of the truckers and I stand with them.
The question is, who has the right vision for Canada's future? In this video, I'm going to break down top 10 key issues, and then I'll leave this up to you to decide who deserves your vote better. Canada is at a crossroads, and the stakes have never been higher. With the future of climate, economy, healthcare, and even our relations with the US on the line, the upcoming election could define our destiny. Are we moving towards a greener, more inclusive future, or back to business as usual? Today, we will explore what the Liberals and Conservatives have proposed for each of these crucial areas. US tariffs. Under the Liberals, Canada has faced its share of challenges with US tariffs, especially under the Trump administration. The Liberals have fought these tariffs through diplomacy and renegotiated trade deals to protect Canadian industries, including steel, aluminum, and dairy. They aim to continue working with the US while shielding Canada from harmful trade barriers. The Conservatives, however, are ready to take a more aggressive stance. They argue that Canada needs to stand firm in the face of US tariffs and demand better terms in trade agreements. The Conservatives are pushing for retaliatory measures to protect Canadian workers and industries. Their approach is centered on a hardline defense of Canada's trade interests. Will the Liberals' diplomatic approach safeguard Canada's economy? Or will the Conservatives' tough stance make Canada more resilient against US pressure? Only the time will tell. Climate change and energy. The Liberals are committed to addressing climate change head-on. Their approach focuses on aggressive carbon pricing and clean energy investments. They are pushing for a transition to a net zero economy by 2050, with a 2030 target to cut emissions by 40%. They also want to incentivize transition to electric vehicles and renewable energy and fund large-scale green infrastructure projects. On the other hand, the Conservatives argue that a fast transition could harm Canada's economy. Their solution? A balanced approach. They want to eliminate carbon pricing and focus on innovations in clean tech without driving up costs for Canadians. They also plan to expand Canada's oil and gas industry while promoting investment in natural gas for cleaner energy alternatives. Will the Liberals' bold green transition risk jobs and industry? Or will the Conservatives focus on traditional energy, slow down the necessary climate action? We will see what the future holds. Cost of living. Now let's talk about the cost of living. Under the Liberals, there is a focus on helping middle-class families through direct financial aid. They have introduced targeted tax cuts for low-income Canadians and housing initiatives for first-time buyers. Their housing plan also includes eliminating GST on new homes under $1 million. The Conservatives, however, believe that cutting taxes across the board is the solution. They plan to lower income tax rates, especially for middle and low-income Canadians. They also propose more support for seniors, like extending the ability to contribute to RRSPs up to 73 and increasing the annual TFSA contribution limit. Which tax plan will leave more money in your pocket, and will it be enough to offset the rising cost? Defense and national security. When it comes to national security and defense, the Liberals focus on modernizing the Canadian Armed Forces. They have promised to invest in military technology and cybersecurity while increasing the defense budget by 70% over the next decade. They are also committed to supporting NATO allies and peacekeeping efforts abroad. Meanwhile, the Conservatives are pushing for a more robust defense strategy. They want to increase Canada's defense spending by 3% of GDP, focusing on boosting military presence in the Arctic and increasing the country's military readiness in the face of rising global tensions. They believe a stronger military presence is crucial to ensure Canada's safety in an unpredictable world. Can Canada balance defense spending with the need for other social programs? Or will a more aggressive military strategy put us at risk of overspending? Foreign policy and U.S. relations. Foreign relations are critical to Canada's global standing. The Liberals have emphasized a diplomacy-first approach, focusing on trade partnerships, climate initiatives, and humanitarian efforts. They have worked hard to maintain strong ties with the U.S., but with a clear stance on standing up for Canadian values. The Conservatives, however, see the relationship with the U.S. as critical to Canada's economic future. They have pledged to push back on unfair trade tariffs and renegotiate key trade deals to ensure that Canadian industries are protected. At the same time, they plan to reinforce border security, reduce illegal immigration, and work on a more strategic relationship with the U.S. Which party has the right approach to securing Canada's interests globally and domestically in this ever-evolving geopolitical landscape? Government spending and debt. Let's talk money. The Liberals have increased government spending significantly, especially in healthcare, climate change, and social programs. They argue that public investment is key to the country's future, even if it means running deficits for a while. Their focus is on growing the economy through these investments. The Conservatives argue that too much government spending has created unsustainable debt. They want to cut back on government spending by freezing public sector wages, reducing inefficiencies, and controlling the national debt. Their strategy is to reduce the deficit while promoting tax cuts to stimulate the economy. Is it better to invest in the future and take on more debt, or should Canada focus on reducing the deficit to ensure long-term sustainability? Healthcare. In healthcare, the Liberals have focused on expanding access to care. Their plan includes offering free dental care for low-income Canadians and improving mental health services. They have also promised to invest more in rural and remote healthcare infrastructure. The Conservatives, while maintaining the core of Canada's universal healthcare, want to make changes to improve the system's efficiency. They are focusing on reducing wait times and ensuring better access to healthcare professionals by allowing private healthcare options in certain cases, like eye surgeries or dental care. So, which party's plan will truly provide better healthcare for all Canadians? Housing. The Liberals are focused on increasing housing supply by incentivizing developers to build more affordable housing. They have also proposed eliminating the GST on new homes for first-time home buyers and increasing funding for public housing projects. The Conservatives have a more hands-on approach. They aim to streamline building permits and reduce red tape for developers. Their focus is on offering tax incentives to builders, aiming to increase the housing supply without heavy government intervention. Can the Liberals' comprehensive approach provide relief to homebuyers, or will the Conservatives' market-based policies be the real solution? Immigration. Immigration remains a hot topic. With the Liberals aiming to maintain high immigration levels, they argue that immigrants are vital to Canadian economy, contributing to labor shortages and cultural diversity. The Conservatives, on the other hand, are focused on reducing immigration numbers, especially for asylum seekers and refugees. They want to tighten border security and implement stricter immigration rules to ensure that Canada's immigration system is more controlled. Which approach will ensure Canada's prosperity? Welcoming new talent or being more selective in who we let in? Infrastructure. The Liberals are heavily invested in infrastructure, focusing on green energy projects, public transit, and modernizing Canada's roads and bridges. Their goal is to create a more sustainable and connected country. The Conservatives propose expanding infrastructure, particularly focusing on roads, highways, and expanding the natural resources sector. They aim to make Canada more business-friendly with less government interference. From climate to healthcare, defense to immigration, the future of Canada depends on the decision we make now. The Liberal and Conservative paths may seem miles apart, but both parties are fighting for the future of our nation. The question is, which direction will you choose? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. We will be breaking down the most important issues as we approach the election. Stay informed and stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.